If you've ever worked in the kitchen before, you've had a bad day. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my top 3 worst days working in a kitchen. Before the video starts though, I'd love to hear from you guys. If you're willing to share, leave a comment down below what your worst kitchen day was. Let's get into it. Hello everybody, my name's Gage. I'm the owner and operator of Sharp Knife Shop located here in Hamilton and Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I had the amazing opportunity to work in 2 3-star Michelin restaurants, one being Grace in Chicago, the other being Mimo in Oslo. And today I'm going to share with you my 3 worst experiences working in each of these restaurants. The first story is going to take place at Mimo in Oslo. The way that kitchen worked is we had a sort of station where all the cooks would cook and prepare the food and place them on trays that would then be transported to the pass, which was just a long table where chefs would stand on one side, cooks would stand on the other side, and we would collectively work to plate all of the food before it was brought to the table. Now, of course, placing a tray down on a surface doesn't sound like a difficult task, but sometimes things can happen. And at that level, you're expected to make zero noise when you put a tray down. So I'm standing at the pass across from Chef Espen, who is the head honcho there at Mimo. And another cook comes from behind me and rather aggressively places a tray down on the countertop, to which Chef Espen attributed to me. So, of course, being a good cook and not trying to stir up anything, I took it on the chin, didn't say, you know, it wasn't me, chef, it was that guy. I just kind of rolled with it and kept on working. Later in the day, I'm going to put something on a rack and roll. A rack and roll are those like racks with the various shelves in it with the wheels on the bottom, and you put like big trays in them. Of course, if you've ever worked in a restaurant before, you know never to place a half-baked tray at the back of a rack and roll, especially one that is only halfway up so that you cannot see that there is a half tray at the back of the rack and roll. And of course, I went and put a full tray in. Of course, I should have looked before I put it in there. But in any case, the tray flew off the back end and slammed onto the ground. Chef Espen came flying from the other side of the kitchen, got up in my face about this far away and proceeded to scream obscenities at me and ask whether I wanted to continue working there for the rest of the day or not. To which, of course, I responded yes, even though in my mind I was screaming, "No, bury me in a hole, I would like to die now." Of course, not only did the entire kitchen hear this exchange, the entire dining room located not far downstairs heard this exchange. So that was number 1 bad day in the kitchen. So my second experience is going to take place in Grace in Chicago. This is about 2 or 3 months into my employment there. The warm glow of working in my dream job has worn off at this point. I'm getting yelled at and frequently told off by chefs and cooks in the kitchen, thoroughly put in my place. So I'm already having a bit of a difficult time. I want to show how much value I can provide to the restaurant, how hard a worker I am. So of course I am trying to be a hero, bringing up glucose, isomalt, and fondant upstairs. And rather than placing them into a hotel pan like a normal human would, I decided to just kind of like, you know, carry them however I could. I accidentally smushed the glucose pail, causing the lid to open on the glucose, causing the glucose to spill on the floor, unbeknownst to me. So I was pulling basically a long strip of glucose through the entire kitchen to my station. little glucose snail trail there, yeah. So of course I don't already have enough stuff to get done. Now I've got to get on my hands and knees and scrub the glucose out of the carpet. So that was no fun.
Carpet?
Yeah, that was not a fun day.
That's the worst.
That was not a fun day. Oh, and actually my sous chef had to help me too because I was like running out of time. So like me and the sous chef. And then the floor's all wet so they get fucking like fans out to dry the carpet. So then everyone that came in that day from front of house was like, "Oh, what's the fan doing here? Gage fucked up." Cool. Okay, now the third worst day. I've had a lot of bad days. This is only the top 3 too. There's other stories I could tell, but so this third story has to do with gnudi. If you're unfamiliar with gnudi, it is very similar to gnocchi, Main difference being that gnocchi made from potato, nudi made from just flour and ricotta. You make a mixture, you put it in a piping bag, and then you pipe it in little dollops onto semolina flour, cover it up, leave it in the fridge overnight, uncover them, and then again leave them in the fridge overnight to get like a nice sort of skin on them, so that when you boil them they don't just explode. So foreshadowing there for you, we're in the middle of service. This nudi dish came with a black truffle beurre blanc, some scallion gel, scallion curls, and then black truffles were shaved table side for the guest. It was an extra course that someone could purchase when doing the tasting menu at Grace. And I went into service very confident that I had enough nudi for that day. I had 2 trays in my fridge, one of which had been there for 2 days, so nicely developed skin on those guys, no issues. The next tray, which I didn't plan on going into, but was confident would work anyways if I had to, had only been there for a day, and we had a particularly busy nudi service that day. So I get an order for 2 nudis. I go into my new tray of little dumplings. I throw them in the water, and they promptly explode and turn my water into a odd looking mush. That is not a fun feeling, knowing that you cannot deliver what chef is asking for. But that was probably the worst day I've ever had in the kitchen, knowing that I let myself down and the whole kitchen down, and was unable to deliver a course that was expected by the guest. So that was probably my worst day in the kitchen. Don't fret though, we had another special truffle course going on, so we just switched it out and everything was okay, but I certainly did not feel good about myself after that. So
did you also get yelled at that day?
No. So Chef Duffy had this unique ability of making you like hate yourself. He was awesome though. There you have it, guys. Top 3 worst days in the kitchen. Again, make sure to leave a comment down below if you're willing to share one of your bad kitchen experiences. And until the next video, stay sharp.